like the little noise it makes when you record shit. Right, where are we? Reset. Restart.
This is the bottomless bloody bag, this is, I swear to God. I've been eating this for 2 days now, I don't think they've gone down.
Al's eating sweets. Welcome to part 2. Anyway, boys, there are 2 words at the start of part 2, and those words are hog pen. I fast forwarded this.
Well, it's basically, it was for the Miss WrestleMania crown between Santina and Vicky Guerrero. And essentially it was a man versus a woman. So Vicky drafted in Chavo to basically a handicap match. And it was ridiculous. Does anyone know who won the very first Hog Pen match? Triple H won the very first Hog Pen match back in 1995.
Oh yeah.
And look what it did for his career.
The Godwins. Yeah, yeah. So what? We're going to see Santino Marella marry McMahon in about 15 years' time and totally dominate the entire...
Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. Wasn't the same rules as that Hog Pen match?
Will he still have the same accent?
Of course.
Cool.
You had to pin them in this Hog Pen match. The old one, you just had to get them in.
When
you just had to get them in the Hog Pen, yeah. But anyway, Santina won.
It was a slop.
And she blamed Chavo for it, and it was, oh yeah, there was slop.
Pig slop. Delightful pigs.
And it was shit, basically.
It was
well,
terrible.
It was a load of slop.
And again, hardly extreme.
No.
No.
And pigs are extreme, aren't they?
Yeah.
I do. I can't remember when it was specifically this match, but Chavo seems to be slowly heading back towards actually wrestling.
Well, he has done in the past.
He just seems to have been a little bit of a...
On off. He doesn't do it a lot.
He came back for the Rumble and took a bump at the Rumble.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in the Rumble and he was replaced by Duggan.
Was he?
Yeah, supposed to be in the Rumble and Jim Duggan took his place.
I think it was the Raw after Extreme Rules, and he wrestled in a tag team match. Briefly.
Alright.
With Cena.
Yeah, they had him in singles against Cena as well, but he lost out quickly.
But you know,
pretty much a highlight of his career, yeah.
He's never been particularly high up in my list of favourite wrestlers. But since he's not been wrestling, I've kind of missed slapstick humour slightly.
It must make him a bit sick though, the fact he was Eddie's nephew, but yet Rey Mysterio got to ride on the back of Eddie's death when he had to sit back and be a jobber essentially during this period.
Yeah, but if you thought Rey Mysterio winning the Royal Rumble in 2006 was a shock, can you imagine if it was Chavo Guerrero?
Yeah, well why not have neither of them win it and have a plausible storyline?
Well, that's a question for another time. The next match on Extreme Rules was Cena versus Big Show.
The submission match of all things.
I skipped this.
Well,
because I have no interest in either of these wrestlers.
Well, I like Cena, but not quite like Big Show, but due to the fact that Big Show didn't have a submission move, it was fairly obvious which way the match was going to go.
Yeah, but here's the thing I was telling Tom beforehand. The whole storyline relied on the fact that John Cena was unable to apply the STFU onto the Big Show, right? Now, from my mind, it's questionable as to whether John Cena can apply the STFU properly to anyone on the roster. So therefore, that storyline was null and void.
Well, he did and he won.
Good. Right. Once again, fast forwarded that until I saw John Cena walking. And I hate John Cena. He's not. He's
better than Triple H.
Incredibly cardboard lump of a man designed to sell action figures and T-shirts. That's all he does. He can barely wrestle after being in it for about the last 6 years. He is ultimately boring. His promos are boring. They just rely on his whole thing. Oh, he's got a lot of guts. You know, he never backs down from a fight. That's because he's stupid. That's because he's a goody two-shoes, stupid, moronic idiot.
Don't all these comments apply to Rey Mysterio as well?
No, because Rey Mysterio's actually had some good matches in his past, and does get a good match out of it.
When he's drop kicking Mark Henry out of the ring.
No, not against. I've told you this so many times. Against guys bigger than him, when you know they expect him to have great matches against guys that are like twice his size, then yeah, it's useless and it looks stupid. But seriously, go back to like Halloween Havoc '97 when he wrestled Eddie Guerrero for the when he was, I don't know, I can't remember if it's for the title or not. Never mind. But it's a bloody brilliant match. The only series has a lot of really good matches.
Should we concentrate on it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Right. Kind of.
What amazes me is that there's still people out there just talking to a couple of friends that are actually still impressed by the fact that John Cena can lift the Big Show.
It's still a good feat. I see you try and lift the Big Show.
I'd probably make a good, better effort at throwing my punches better than Cena does. You know, I'd like to think if I spent 6 years in the top of the WWE, I would know how to throw a bloody punch convincingly.
Surely there's other people. Other people. The Great Khali, I know his knees are knackered, but I'd be interested to see John Cena lift the Great Khali more than to see him
He's
lift
done
the
that
Big
2
Show
years ago.
again.
Hulk Hogan
He
slammed
wrestled
onto
One
the
Night
giant.
Stand 2007. They had a Paul Scott Heyman match.
Remember that?
Yeah, viewed him off the side of the stage. Off the truck, I think it was, wasn't it?
It could have been, yeah.
I remember the days when they had proper hardcore matches. Yeah, 2 years ago. The next match was the...
Steel
no,
cage match.
Batista Orton we nearly missed.
That was quite quick.
Yeah, it was 7 minutes.
That quick.
Yeah.
Was it because Batista was injured or not?
Yeah.
It was clever.
In which case,
clever
why
giving him
put
a
that
title,
bloody
wasn't it?
title on him? If only to give it back to Orton a week later.
Yes.
What kind of useless rubbish was that?
Wow.
Exactly. Although I will credit them with one thing. Orton was built quite well, being that he was the heel, and he had the first natural instinct that you would do if you were in a steel cage with Batista. He ran away and tried to get over the top of the cage as soon as possible, which is what you do. You wouldn't just stick around and try and beat him and all this kind of stuff. You would run like hell, and that's what he did. Great, fantastic, good match, quite short. Don't know why they put the title on Batista.
And now we're at the main event.
Main event, yeah, pretty much. Hardy, Edge, ladder match for the World Title.
I thought the ending was a bit stupid when Edge was jammed in the ladder.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't quite get the whole Edge crucifixion thing. I didn't quite get that.
No.
But I suppose you're going to have to kind of come up with something to do that. And have you noticed how a lot of ladder matches end that way now anyway?
Someone stuck.
Someone kind
the
of
leg
gets
stuck
flung or a
in.
leg stuck in it or
Yeah.
something like that.
That's how the first ladder match ended between Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
True, that's,
Shawn Michaels got his foot twisted in the ropes and Razor Ramon won the match from that.
that's still the benchmark though, that match. That match is still brilliant.
Technically, yeah, it
It's
is.
still a really good match.
I love it. It's 90s. It's great.
It's the early 90s, it's near Al's comfort zone. No, but the main talking point behind that ladder match will obviously be CM Punk cashing in. What was the point, by the way, in Jim Ross getting out of his seat to look like he's about to interview Jeff Hardy,
Like he's ever done that before.
and then have to go back to his seat
Mm.
because CM Punk's music played? And did you notice that there wasn't much of a reaction when CM Punk's music played, and when CM Punk won the title, everybody booed?
I was half expecting CM Punk not to win it, to be honest with you.
Well,
It
after
was
that
looking
first
that
change
way
of
for a
gears,
little bit.
Yeah. When he kicked out the first one, I thought, oh, he might be a small package and a victory here for Jeff. But
But that would be like a major. Can you imagine the major? The only problem I have with the Money in the Bank is you kind of know that the guy that wins it will get the world title at some stage.
yeah, it's happened every
Because
year.
it will be the biggest disappointment in the history of mankind if someone comes out with the case, goes, yeah, I'm cashing it in, and then loses. Unless it's by some bizarre controversial kind of decision.
But what I can't understand, CM Punk's got no momentum going into it. He's jobbed.
No.
He's lost
He
to
dropped to
Umaga.
Umaga. He only beat him in that strap match,
And that's
they
his-
made a
yeah.
big thing about how he was struggling to beat Umaga. And that's it. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm a big CM Punk fan. I kept saying this. I like CM Punk. Liked him in the Independents. Like him now. I can't see where he's going to go with the title. Although there's an interesting kind of storyline going on at the moment between how they're debating as to whether he should have cashed it in, and Jeff Hardy says you shouldn't have, because that whole thing of if you're a face, you don't beat another face for the title, and they're running at the Bash it's going to be CM Punk Hardy, which should be a really good match.
Do you remember Hogan Warrior? That was a face.
Yeah, that was, that was.
Anyway, back there. So, was there a match? Was there stipulation, sorry, for that at the Bash? No,
No,
match?
I think
No,
it's
it's just a
straightforward
title
match.
match.
Straightforward match, yeah.
Have we got time to go for the Bash card?
No, because we're on 9.5 minutes.
Alright then.
It's going quick.
Come back later, Bash card.
We'll go for the Bash, part 3.